Oh, hey, it's me. It's still January, and if I sound any different, which I shouldn't, it's because I have a brand spanking new laptop. Thanks to my own ineptitude at upgrading my previous one, and I'll get into that a little bit. But this is not a techie geeky kind of show, so maybe there's not a lot of interest in that. But here I am. It's like 25 degrees outside. I'm sitting in my car outside of Target with the heater off. So I don't get a lot of background noise, and I'm still trying this recording at a lower volume, trying not to get so much background whatever and get better output. So if I can just solve the inevitable ums and uhs and pauses and things like that, then I'd be putting together a better show and maybe a little easier for you all to listen to. Um, Let me know. Let me know. Any of you audiophiles out there, let me know if I've achieved anything new with this recording, or if I need to just hide in the closet to record podcasts at a better sound. I think the sound quality used to be better, and Audacity, the program I use, used to be better, but it's changed and it doesn't have as many bells and whistles that I know how to. Maybe it hasn't changed in a bad way. Maybe I just haven't upgraded myself in a good way. So, yeah, I'm going to talk a little bit today. I'm not really sure what I want to talk about, but we're going to get into something for sure. And I will bore you yet again. The numbered 201st episode of the podcast. It's been a long time. I never thought. I really, really never thought. I listen to some podcasts, and they're like, Skeptic's Guide to the Universe is at like episode 800 or something. And they are very, very on the ball. I don't know what I want to say. That's not what I want to say. But they are devout in putting out an episode every week, and they plan ahead, and like they may not, like over the holiday period, they may not actually record something for that week, but they will have recorded something earlier on in the year, so they can put something out. And I just don't have that kind of dedication. It's not dedication that I don't have for you all. It's dedication that I don't have for my life in general. So, but 200 episodes, that implies 4 years. Um, if you assume an episode every week, and I certainly was not doing that. I can't remember there was a time when I thought about putting out 2 episodes a week. Uh, and I may have done that for a little bit, but if anybody knows the date of the first episode that I put out, hit me up. Let me know. I could look it up myself, but it's more fun to hear from people. So, yeah. You know what? I'm just going to get to it. It is Saturday, January 9th, 2021. And as of this recording, I'm still depressed, but I'm not dead. So, yeah, things are interesting in the U.S. We, this is another thing I'd like to hear from folks about. Like, what is the feeling, thinking in your neck of the woods, in your country? If assuming people outside the U.S. still listen to me, what is your thinking about what happened here in the U.S. just a few days ago? And for those of you who don't know, we had a group of people expressing their American freedoms and really American sentiment historically, of protesting and storming government power, those in power, and trying to prove a point. Although I don't know that these folks were trying to prove a point as much as just making a scene. But I don't know for sure. I don't know. Obviously, I don't know. I'm not inside other people's heads. But we had a small group of American, I believe they were all American citizens, storm the Capitol building and break inside and do some things. And some people were killed. And this was all, there was a vote in our Senate, our Congress, our representatives, our houses of legislature, whether or not to approve. Approve is not the word I want to use. My vocabulary is really gone this morning. I apologize. But to, approve the voting from the last election, which President Trump lost and President-elect Joe Biden had won. So the way we work here is that we vote in our states, and then the states certify that such and such a person won the popular vote in their state, and then that state has voters in this electoral college that then dedicates their votes to that candidate. And blah, 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 blah. Donald Trump has said that he won and that there was election fraud and blah, blah, blah. And he's really pushed this. And he said, hey, you know what? You should come down to the Capitol and voice your opinion when, on the day when they're going to certify is the word I want, certify this election. And basically, a sitting president of the United States incited unrest and mob mentality against the democracy, the institution of the United States of America. And I sent my girls a message that evening, basically apologizing that we had such people in our country, such people of importance in our country. And I'm not, I try not to be political, but it comes through. I know it does. I'm opinionated, blah, blah, blah. But this is just embarrassing. And, it's the way, the way it ties in to like Depressed Not Dead is that I've thought a lot about this since it happened. And, there's a lot of anyone's individual life that they can have some level of control about, right? We can always frame our situation in such a way that we have a choice. The choice may be between two terrible options, but we still have a choice, and we can frame our things, our thoughts, and our actions in such a way that I choose to, do this, do that. And then there's times when we are in such a mental state that we can't avail ourselves of those choices. And, like I can choose how I'm going to, what I'm going to do today to a certain extent, right? And I get, there are days, there've been so many days when really it didn't feel like I had a choice and I was just going to stay in bed. I was just going to hate my life. I was just going to be so sure of how stupid and worthless and terrible and blah, 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 that I am. This was fact in my head. But, this whole unrest thing, this whole unruliness, spurred on by the leader of my country, is not something that I feel like I have a choice I can make about it, right? I can't spin this. I don't know how to talk to my kids about this, right? This was not like an exercise in our Second Amendment rights, which here in the U.S. is the right to bear arms, right to own firearms. Um, this was not an exercise in our right to peacefully protest. This was an insurrection. This was something that, as a middle class white American man, like I picture these things happening in, so-called third world countries where the government is unstable and terrible things are happening, and the people unite to try to overthrow that, or the military takes it upon their own to overthrow something terrible. And here it was something good that was happening. This was a change. I don't want to alienate people, but if you don't see the bad that Donald Trump has brought to the country and the world at large in the past 4 years, then I'm sorry. We don't have difference of opinions. We have different thought processes, and I'm not one to say that I think properly and someone else thinks improperly, but I find it hard not to think that in this situation. So anyway, how do I talk to my kids about this? How do I say okay, this is what happened, and this is why it happened, and this is why it's important. I can talk to them that this is what happened, this is why it happened, and this is why it's terrible. Which it's not something on this scale that I'm able to discuss with my girls. And this feeds right into my thinking that I am a bad dad, right? This fuels those thoughts that, if I was a better dad, I would be better equipped to talk about this with my girls. If I was a better dad, they would already be equipped to think about this in a certain way. And maybe they are. Maybe I'm not giving them enough credit. But I just feel like this really makes me feel like I am unprepared to be a dad in this situation. And it's not a small situation, right? This is not like somebody blows up a family planning clinic or something like that, right? This is the core of our country. This is the core of the future of my kids. This is, I may be overblowing this, but this is potential global warming catastrophe level things for the U.S. We happen to history has shown that the edge of the envelope gets pushed out farther and farther. I think I'm mixing metaphors here. But once something happens, in a lot of cases, it becomes maybe not normal, but possible, right? And it's not the same, but the idea of suicide and that. So it's it's part of my life. It's in my arsenal of things that are possible in my life. And once something becomes part of the public, the cultural conversation, it makes it easier for it to happen again or to be taking a step farther. And this really bothers me. This really worries me. And I don't know what to do to guide my kids through this. And I've gone on. JP doesn't want to be political on his podcast, but listen, he's at 15 minutes now of talking about politics. So I guess what it comes down to is I feel feel impotent. I feel powerless in this situation on how to lead my small tribe to a better understanding of a better learn and adapt and move forward kind of situation. So, yeah, so let me know what the feeling is in your neck of the woods about what happened, about how we're embarrassing ourselves over here. And yeah, I'll be glad to hear it. So moving on, I have not next week, but the week after, I have myself a therapy appointment. I think I talked about how I had been knocking the idea around of getting back into therapy. Like I just fell out of it so easily with the pandemic and all that. And it's just been nagging at me for a while. And yeah, I mean, I don't know consciously that this is a result of a worsening of my symptoms of my situation, but it's more of it feels like it's something I should be doing, and I told Nora about it, and she was not happy that I haven't been going. Not like you suck, hey, whatever, slap me in the face, nothing like that. Nora's not that kind of person. We don't have that kind of relationship. But yeah, I mean, she very pointedly, she was like, hey, why don't I know that you haven't been going? And yeah, it's so, but I'm back on the wagon of sorts. I don't know how to find a therapist, right? Like, you just can't find, little blurbs about therapists, and some of them will talk about personality disorders, like they deal with those. And I think I've talked about this before, but like none of them ever say like avoidant personality disorder. And I posted a link on the Facebook page about social anxiety versus avoidant personality disorder and how they're different. They're similar in a lot of ways, but how they're different. And I plan to print that and email it maybe to my therapist, my new therapist who I'm trying out in a couple weeks here, and get their opinion on it and say, hey, this feels right. This feels like they're describing me. Do you feel like you can help me with this? And we'll see. A better podcast host would have that printed out right now and be able to talk about it at length. But I'm not, at this point, a better podcast host. I'm just a guy who hangs out in his car outside of Target talking to you. So, yeah. So, I want to. I think I've been very clear in talking about, like, I don't know that depression is ruling my life with such a iron fist as it has once before. And that's not to say I'm cured or I'm all better, but like it's not what's in my head all the time. And this avoidant personality disorder, this fear of being rejected, of being seen as inept, as being uncovered for the absolute loser that I believe I am, is forever, like every day, every interaction, every just eye contact with people is there, and I feel it, and it happens. And so I want to work on that, but I don't know how. And like, I think maybe it's just it's going to be repetition. It's going to be getting in those reps, right? It's going to be like, I am good. I am able. I can talk to this person, go. And then walk away from that situation feeling like, oh boy, they know what kind of idiot I am. But then next interaction, okay, I am good, I am capable, I am able, go and talk to that person. And maybe it's something like that. I don't know. But that just sounds terrible. Like I don't, like um, I think I've gotten better at like faking it and kind of pushing those feelings and thoughts to the side a little bit during interaction, a brief interaction, like 2 minutes, like with a cashier or something. But like anybody, I have this major hang up of like meeting Nora's friends or getting to know the neighbors because that's not a one-off situation. Right? It's not the contact I have when I go into a Target store to work and I can just talk about, hey, this doesn't work, this does work. Oh, hey, this broke since last week, or this, hey, I got a part for this and I put this in, and like factual kind of things. This is like having the neighbors come over for a cup of sugar and then want to talk for 10 minutes about the HOA or how are the kids. And I just I can't it's not I can't, but I fear that, like, I don't know how to come away from any of those kind of interactions feeling like I came out as anything other than a loser, an idiot, a moron, whatever kind of slur you want to put that I believe of myself. So yeah, I want to work on that, and um, maybe I can work on that. Maybe I can swing the pendulum the other way, and maybe that'll be something. Maybe more of the world will see the person that Nora sees, which I don't even know that I fully accept that I am the person that she sees. So, yeah, there's that. Going to therapy. Yeah. Um, what else is going on? I don't know. There's not. There's that. There's that. So my knee is whatever. It's screwed up. It hurts. I've got a cortisone shot this past week, and it feels better in some ways, but feels worse in other ways. And I don't know what that means. I don't know what my real timeline will be to go running again. I have it in my head that I'm going to run Thursday this coming week. That'll be 3 weeks since I didn't run, and give it a try. But I don't know that that's realistic. And I've been going out and walking the distances that I would have run each day. Is kind of my intentional mileage for this run the year thing that I think I talked about last week. So like I'm still moving, but it's walking is great. It's good exercise, but it's not running, right? It doesn't have the same positive effects and, negative effects on the knees and such, etc. But yeah, I just don't know. I don't know what it's going to bring. I don't know what my time frame is. Like, I got the cortisone shot on whatever. Let's say January 6th, right? It might be that. I don't know. I don't know my days. I think it was earlier than that, but the 5th maybe. Like, is it 2 weeks before I can say, hey, I need something else. I need a deeper look into what's going on in the knee, or is it like, hey, you got a cortisone shot? Really? We don't want to do anything for a month. I don't know what that situation is, and I don't know. I just don't know. But I know I don't know. So so yeah, that's going on. I've got my girls coming tomorrow for a week, and that should be good. I've been dieting, right? So 2021 is so far the year of dieting, and I have lost conservatively 6 pounds in the first week, which is totally unsustainable. And it's actually, the real number is more than that, but I don't want to say the real number. So conservatively 6 pounds, which if, I want to lose like 40 pounds. So if I can average like 2 pounds a week, that's 20 weeks, which is 5 months, which gets me to hitting my goal weight-ish around the time of my half marathon that's coming up the second week of May, which goes back into the knee and running and blah, blah, blah. But, I believe I've wanted to slim down a little bit, and this knee issue kind of puts a exclamation point on that. Like, it's something like I was talking to Dave the other day and I came up with some ludicrous number, but it's something like 3 pounds additional, like your body weight times 3 is the force you're putting on your knees. So if I can lose, if I lose 20 pounds, that's like 60 pounds less weight, less force I'm putting on my knees. And that's got to be good, right? That's got to be good. Not just for running, but life in general. And so not talking with Nora, she's already, her first thought was, well, if you have to get a new knee, you'll have to live on the first floor for a while. And I'm like, whoa, hang on. Hey, I don't want to get a new knee just yet. We're not at that situation, right? I'm just a guy who is fat and wants to run and doesn't know how to pace himself. But he, but that kind of points to the kind of person Nora is. Like, I'm going to take care of you. So if this happens, I've already got a plan in place. Don't worry, I've got you covered. So yeah, I'm going to call it. You know what? I've babbled long enough. I don't know that I talked enough about really good things. But I talked, and I've got a few leads to have some guests on. So great. G, I have got your email. I have read it through. I need to read through it again, and I will get a hold of you. I still want to get Dave on. So Dave, that's you're on notice. And I'd love to get Claire back on, but she's in England, and that's hard to get a hold of someone and find time to talk and chat with someone. But yeah. Jamulkey@gmail.com, facebook.com/Jamulkey, @Jamulkey on Twitter and Instagram, which I've been thinking I need to put more stuff on Instagram. I see all these other podcasters who put notices out there that say, hey, there's a new show. There's a new episode. Go check it out. Or, hey, here's an uplifting quote. So maybe I can do that. I don't know. I just don't think of it. And it goes back to like, well, who's going to want to look at my Instagram post? Yeah. So, it's easy. I have a Twitter notification that goes out and a Facebook notification that goes out when I post an episode, and that's like automatic. I don't have to do anything really. I just put a little blurb in to say, hey, that's the blah 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 show, which I don't even have to do that. I could just let it go and it'll do automatically. I don't know that I can do that for Instagram. Maybe we'll see. But Instagram like implies pictures, right? And so I'd have to do more work. And I'll be honest, I just want to get it out there and stop thinking about whether or not it's any good or not. Like just put it out. Just put it out and let it go. And it's free. It's in the wild, and it's just its own thing now. And you don't have control over it once it's out. So just do it fast. So yeah, that's JAMOALKI, Jamulkey. All those different places. .info for the webpage, which again isn't updated very much, but you can see my actual weight progress on there. I think that's still active. So if you're curious, go check that out. And you can text me here in the US, 248-648-1419, or worldwide on WhatsApp, which has been a lonely app on my phone lately. +1 248-648-1419. Get a hold of me. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know what you think about the show. Head on over, leave me a review on iTunes or wherever that would be awesome. So yeah, that's it. I've begged, I've pandered. I don't know if I've pandered. That seems negative towards you. Huh. I don't know who that's. I don't know. Yeah. So anyway, I've done my thing, and I appreciate you all. Till next time, be safe and be well. Thanks.